O'Neill, Joe Dredge.
The show goes on!
Mornings on WROK. Over 95 years in the books and still on top. This is Rockford's News Talk 1440 WROK.
7 minutes after 6, News Talk 1440 WROK. I like hearing vehicle. That's nice.
Yeah. You know who sings it?
Yeah, Ides of March.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to hear Ides of March all day this morning.
Yeah, nice tie-in there.
Yes, thank you.
44 BC, end of the line for Julius Caesar on this date.
Sorry, guy.
Partly cloudy and 34, feels like 32. Today headed for 60, and as the forecast begins to revise itself a little bit, it looks like there's going to be a lot more sun than clouds today.
Okay.
Only a 3% chance of drawing any precipitation, so that's kind of cool. Tomorrow, even warmer. We might kiss up to 70. 68 is the expected high on Wednesday, with only an 8% chance of drawing any precipitation and a mix of clouds and sun. Cooler Thursday at 56 with a 40% chance of rain. Cooler still on Friday at 43 with a 70% chance of rain now. And Saturday's 53, partly cloudy.
Okay, be fine.
That's what we have going on.
Be fine.
That's what we have going on.
Do you know any other Ides of March songs?
I don't.
Okay.
Not a single one.
I didn't either. They sound good. I grabbed about a half dozen. We're going to listen to Ides of March songs at the top of the bottom of the hour, the rest of the show.
Okay.
So get ready for those.
Yep, because it's the Ides of March.
It is.
This is their day.
Beware.
This is their day. Beware.
Beware. Come
you
on.
got friends with knives asking to talk to you in the coat room.
Don't.
Just don't. Just don't do
It's
it.
not the day, guys.
Don't do it.
No.
Last half hour, we left off of the almanac on this date, 1972, when The Godfather was released into theaters for the very first time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that did okay for itself.
Did fine. Immediately okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
From the get-go.
Was it anticipated? Was the book that big of a deal that people were...
The book was a pretty big deal.
Okay.
The book was a pretty big deal. I remember as a kid at that time, there were several people in my parents' orbit that had copies of that book. And were discussing it.
You read the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Which, that was the thing about being an only child. A lot of my time was occupied with books.
Correct.
And I would read anything I could get my hands on. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad, obviously busy running lives and doing other things, didn't have time to go over every single thing it was that I read.
Maybe you read a couple things you shouldn't have read.
I read a lot of things I probably shouldn't. I would not have put in my kids' hands.
Correct.
And I remember reading The Godfather about the same time the movie came out.
Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 9. Almost 10.
9, 10, reading The Godfather.
Reading The Godfather. And there's sex scenes and
sure.
There's
lots of murder.
Lots of violence and adult themes that I just really didn't understand. But I slogged through the whole book.
Okay.
I slogged through the whole book. And then the movie came out and they wouldn't let me see it. And guys, but I know what happens here. I know more about this than you know.
Right.
And I wasn't allowed to see it. And finally was a few years later. But the thing about that, when it came out, won Best Picture, obviously. Turned right around. Godfather Part 2 wins Best Picture as well.
That come out how many years later?
2?
Okay.
I think 2, give or take. I want to say 74. Might have been a little earlier. Might have been
74 it came out.
All right, yeah. So it was probably about a 2-year gap between the two.
72 is Godfather?
72 is Godfather.
Okay.
74, Godfather Part 2. Part 3, I haven't seen. It got routinely lambasted when it came out. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Diane Keaton's in Godfather?
Oh, yeah. And 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
I like Diane Keaton.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
But if you've never seen it, like I said to you,
just do it.
Set aside some time to watch it. Mm-hmm. Don't tell people you're going to watch it. Don't say anything because it'll get oversold.
Yeah.
Watch it for what it is, and I think you'll get the most out of it.
I'll enjoy it. Okay.
I've told the story before about a friend in my friend in Citizen Kane, and the greatest American cinema, the greatest film ever produced in America. You've got to see this. It's blah, blah, blah. There was no way that film could live up to the way he sold it. So when I watched it, I was underwhelmed.
Yes.
If I had seen it just stumbling across it, I would have had probably an entirely different opinion.
Right.
I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
You probably didn't appreciate or enjoy what it what it was doing for the movie industry.
Correct, and the changes that it brought about.
Yes.
So many like you see things in movies today and go, that's kind of cliche. Yeah, well, I remember watching the movie where they first did that, and it wasn't cliche then.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, on this date, 72. Now, as long as we're talking highbrow entertainment, fast forward 5 years. Situation comedy, Three's Company, with John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, and Suzanne Summers had its premiere on ABC TV.
I never watched too much of Three's Company.
Yeah, that was a regular.
That was a regular
Come
okay.
on, knock on our door.
Oh, yeah, great theme song.
yeah, always some confusion. And wow, that guy, he didn't really mean that. And don't let Mr. Furley find out.
Was that pretty much every episode?
Every
episode
there was a common theme. There was a miscommunication,
Okay.
a misunderstanding led to one person walking into the room as another person walked out of the room that would have solved this whole thing. Slamming door comedy.
Somebody's in a towel.
Yeah, usually Suzanne Summers.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? 2005 on this date, former WorldCom chief exec Bernie Ebbers convicted in New York of engineering the largest corporate fraud in American history. He later got 25 years in the joint.
I mean, illegal, but impressive.
Oh, wildly. 10 years ago on this date, convicted former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich walked into a federal prison in Colorado where the 55-year-old Democrat began serving a 14-year prison sentence for corruption. He was released in February of 2020 after President Donald Trump commuted his sentence.
Really stuck it to him.
Yeah. Boy.
Really stuck it to him.
Really stuck it to Blagojevich. And I got to tell you, I like the look now.
The silver fox?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Where he just stopped with the shoe polish and let the hair go its natural color. He's got a great head of hair.
He does.
And it looks good on him.
Yeah, I think Patty convinced him.
There's usually a wife involved in that decision process.
Right.
You might go ahead and do it unilaterally, but if she disagrees, you'll probably wind up doing it again, or you'll stick with it.
Right.
Kind of like the beard. Yeah.
Right.
Is this okay? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep it.
Over to the birthday list. If today's your big day, happy birthday. Here's who you are sharing birthdays with. I first became aware of this guy on the TV series Taxi. Played a guy named Alex Rieger on Taxi. Judd Hirsch.
Oh, Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch is 87. Depending on your age, you might remember him as, the dad in Independence Day.
I know him as Dear John.
Okay,
that's where I first got to know Judd Hirsch.
Dear John was an excellent show, and populated with some, like Taxi, a wonderful ensemble comedy.
Yeah.
And everybody on it was Jerry Burns, another guy who was just spectacular on it, who went on to play an awful bad guy on Justified years later.
Yeah, he did.
And played it well.
He played well.
So, Judd Hirsch is 87. Jazz musician Charles Lloyd at 84. Singer Mike Love of the Beach Boys is 81 today. Rock singer, musician Sly Stone, in spite of his best efforts, 79 today is Sly Stone. You have rock singer Ry Cooder at 75. Actress Frances Conroy, 69. Actor Craig Wasson is 68. Rock singer Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, it's 67 today. Actress Park Overall is 65. Movie director Rennie Harlan, he brought you Die Hard 2.
Cool.
And a bunch of other stuff. He's 63 today. Fabio is 61.
Watch out for the seagulls, man.
Man, I think of Fabio, I think of that.
You think of seagulls, and you think of I can't believe it's not butter.
Right. A guy apparently who has a wonderful sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, I think he's a cool guy.
Laughs all the way to the bank and has for years. But that's where he was riding the roller coaster at the theme park for whatever reason, and a seagull comes flying through and smashed into his face, broke his nose.
Yo, it was horrible.
He gets off. His blood is everywhere. His and the seagull or the goose, whatever the hell hit him. But he took quite a shot to the face,
and he got started just doing the romance covers, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they just brought him in for the bodice rippers. So, Fabio, 61 today.
Dangerously handsome.
Singer Terrence Trent D'Arby, also known as Sonata Maitreya. He is 60 today. Rock singer Bret Michaels from Poison at 59. R&B singer Rockwell, somebody's always watching me. 58 today. Actress Kim Raver from 24 is 55. Rock singer Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray is 54. Actress Eva Longoria at 47. And rapper musician will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas is 47, and there's your birthday list.
So was Kim Raver? Oh, yeah. She was the love interest in like season 3 or 4.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
Yeah. But she was good on 24. So
She
anyway,
was.
there is your birthday list.
When you go back through and try to remember the plot lines of 24, it just gets more and more ridiculous the more you think about it.
Oh, of course.
What a great show.
All I know is if they could have ever perfected the phone that Jack Bauer had and sold it to the American public,
Great phone.
complaints about phones would have gone down to zero.
Great phone.
Didn't matter where he was. He's
Worked
in a
everywhere.
tunnel 12 stories below ground, wrapped in steel. Chloe, send me the schematic. Boop, there it is on his phone.
Battery always works.
By the way, downloading faster than 5G or or the fastest Wi-Fi you ever had. Jack Bauer 12 years ago was getting this stuff.
CTU had all the fun toys.
I remember having my ringtone as the CTU ring.
That
Yep,
one?
yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I had my ringtone as the CTU ringtone because it was so distinctive. You always
It
knew.
was.
And then I was someplace and like 5 other people had the same ringtone.
It's great.
I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to switch.
I miss 24.
I loved the 24.
It was so fun. It got so bad at the end. It had no transition from being like enthralling and cutting edge and just in comical. Like it went from like season 6 to 7 and it just went, we're just jumping the shark.
Right.
Everything's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be crazy, guys. And
I
they did
saw
it.
where somebody had opined who was on the show how much better the show would have been had it been now and you had a chance to stream it on Amazon,
Oh, sure.
on Netflix, on something along those lines, so they could have gone for the R.
Ooh, an R-rated 24.
Yeah, they could have gone for an R-rated 24, and there were several people who were attached to that show who believe it. That's the way the show was intended when it was originally written, to be really on the edge.
Kiefer's really good at cussing.
Well, yeah. Yep.
Good.
So,
I mean, they
a
pushed-
hard R would have been an interesting rating or an interesting look at 24.
They pushed it pretty hard for violence on TV. Like some of those torture scenes.
Some of the torture scenes, especially toward the very end.
yes, were very rough.
Yeah.
Very rough.
Yeah. I remember my wife looking at me at one point going, I can't believe this is just on a network television show what he's doing to this guy. I'm like, yeah.
It's like when Bauer went for a lamp, he went, oh no, not the lamp.
Oh, he pulled the cord out of the lamp.
It's got to get electricity involved.
This isn't going to be good. This guy should just tell him what he wants to know.
Just tell him, then he'll shoot you in the face.
Right.
And he'll be done.
And move on. He'll make it quick.
I know. I've seen this scene before. He's going to shoot you in the face.
Eventually.
Yes.
Eventually. And that's why America tuned in.
It was great.
618 News Talk 1440 WROK.
Menards is your electrical headquarters. We carry all the tools and testers you need for any electrical job. Stock up your toolbox with Southwire electrical products today. Right now, save big money on Southwire electrical tools, testers, cable ties, wire, and cable. Shop our huge selection in store at Menards. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among home improvement retailers according to J.D. Power. For more information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
I told you he was a fool.
You wouldn't listen to me.
He'll break your heart.
You wouldn't listen to me.
He'll tear it
You
apart.
wouldn't listen to me.
So you better get smart.
You wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't hear what I got to say. You wouldn't.
Over 95 years in the books and still on top. This is Rockford's News Talk 1440 WROK.
635 News Talk 1440 WROK, celebrating the death of Julius Caesar this morning.
We do it every year.
As we do every year on this date. The Ides of March. That's the band you're hearing in the background, the Ides of March, because it was on this date 44 BC. Caesar, I don't know if there were many farms, but he bought
No.
whatever it is you buy back in ancient Rome when the game's over.
You buy an Acropolis.
So, vehicle, Ides of March is the big hit.
This is You Wouldn't Listen. You ever hear it before?
No.
Okay.
And could you if I didn't know that was the same band
Right.
that brought Friendly Stranger in the black sedan, won't you hop inside my car to this?
This?
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, so that's what's going on this morning when you hear about two. I don't know
What
who that
is
is.
that?
Guess
It's
Ides of
going to
March.
be Ides of
Chances
March,
are
probably.
you'll be right.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know you guys were such Julius Caesar fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things we keep to ourselves.
Huge. Yeah.
Some things we keep to ourselves. We were talking the last half hour about Shaquille O'Neal and just some of the wonderful aspects of the guy.
Cool guy.
Buy stuff for people wherever he's out and looks over and sees someone in need, or maybe not. Whatever it takes. It just a light bulb goes on and Shaq goes, "Hey, I'm paying for your stuff today." Mike Tyson making some news this morning.
Okay.
Mike Tyson has used his retirement years to build an acting career. And more interestingly, weed empire.
Dude loves weed.
Yes, he does. And now Mike Tyson, business entrepreneur, is looking to cash in on one of his most iconic moments. Few moments in Tyson's boxing career stand out quite like...
Biting ears.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Biting of Evander Holyfield's ear during their bout in 1997.
Are those two okay with each other now?
I believe they are.
I think they've hashed it out.
I
Okay.
believe they are. They have had some laughs at both of their expenses at this point. That moment, biting Evander Holyfield's ear has become a marketing opportunity for Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Who has launched a new brand of weed edibles shaped like, yeah, you guessed
Little
it,
bits of ear?
an ear with a bite taken out of it.
Oh, that's great. Good for him.
Tyson has worked on building a weed empire ever since he tried cannabis products for the first time and claims it has profoundly affected his life in a positive way.
Okay.
2018, Tyson's business sold cannabis products, including flowers, edibles, pre-rolls, and his first major endeavor into the cannabis sector was a place called Tyson Ranch, a 40-acre cannabis ranch in California.
It had like a lazy river in it, too?
Yeah, it's like a theme park around it.
Yeah.
From there, he launched a cannabis-named podcast called Hot Boxin'
Really?
with Mike Tyson.
Oh.
In 2021, after the ranch failed, I didn't know it failed.
Oh. Done?
Oh, yeah. Tyson's announced an overhaul, Tyson 2.0, and a new line of marijuana products. Interview with Forbes magazine, quote, "I've never felt as healthy in my life. I've never felt as clear as I do now in my entire life. I tried 5-MeO-DMT, the God molecule, and my whole life changed." By the way, I can't shine a light on that for you. I have no idea what that is.
I don't either.
Tyson is his company's chief brand officer. Quote, "I lost 100 pounds. I started fighting people again at 55 in the ring.
Okay.
Everything started to change from a business perspective, from a health perspective, and from an ideology perspective as far as the clearness of my thinking. I didn't know I would ever feel this good at 55 years old.
Okay.
But I do."
Good for him.
Yep.
Weed, I mean, he sounds earnest in his...
Oh, it doesn't sound like the I couldn't find my own place on a map sort of guy. He does seem
He's
into
he's
it and
into the culture and benefits and all that, and it sounds like it really has made a very positive effect on Mike's life.
It does. And from people who report on him and look in on all that, he seems more stable than he has ever seemed in years.
Yeah.
In years.
Sound good.
But to be fair, how long has it been since we've heard about any difficulties with him whatsoever?
Well,
over 20.
Oh, difficulties? Yeah, over 20 years.
Yeah, well over that. Now, obviously, there was a prison sentence and some other horrible things.
He hasn't gotten in trouble since he got out of jail, I don't think.
I don't think so either. You're not even hearing about lawsuits.
No.
You're not hearing about an occasional dust-up, although I did watch a video clip of him the other day being interviewed by, I think it's some British guy who rubbed Mike the wrong way during the interview. And Mike basically told him, I want to punch your face in right now. And interview's over.
In the quiet way that Mike will tell you.
Yeah, it was kind of quiet, which made it even more dangerous.
He has a
sounding.
menacing way of lowering his voice and talking about what he's going to do.
And this guy provoked him. There's no other way of looking at it. This interview was supposed to be about something else, but instead he started to dredge up the past. Didn't work well with Mike.
For Mike. That's not what we're talking about
Now,
today.
obviously, cooler heads prevailed. Maybe a manager stepped in. Maybe Mike just went,
not worth it.
I'm beyond this. I punched this guy out. This is a $2 million punch.
Right.
I'm not going to give this guy $2 million.
I prefer to get paid to punch people.
Yeah, not give it away for free.
Yes.
So nonetheless, he has new ear-shaped edibles, an ear with a bite taken out of it, and a marijuana edible from Tyson 2.0.
What if he's going to kick any of that to any of the profits over to like Evander Holyfield's charity or something like that?
That would probably be a nice
good move.
Yeah, assuming Evander has one. I don't know that he does.
I would assume Evander's got some sort of foundation.
We assume that all professional athletes do, but maybe they all don't. Maybe one guy, I'm in this for me.
No, I'm keeping it all myself, guys.
Charities are good things and people should help them. I'm not going to.
I earned this.
I'm going to take this for myself. Right. So anyway, I don't know if that'll be available at any of our local dispensaries or how one goes about laying hands on it. Not that I want one myself. I watched the fight. I'm good.
So his resort is closed out in California.
It said the ranch failed, so I'm going to do a little digging. I thought that this was the year that they were, now we're out of the pandemic and all that for the most part, that this would be the launch year for Tyson's Ranch.
Maybe the ranch failed, like the tourist aspect of it, which obviously when you tried to open that 2 years ago was a little bit of a problem, but maybe he still has his manufacturing plant, however you call it.
Could be.
Still on site.
His grow lab going.
Yeah, because I think his field is still there.
Right.
I think he's still growing weed.
Well, we'll look into this one and find out. As long as we're talking celebrities, one more note before we take the break. Judge yesterday in Florida agreed to make permanent an order that prohibits the release of photos, video, or other records related to the investigation into the death of Bob Saget.
Yeah, this is getting weird.
This has gotten very weird. Court hearing in Orlando, Circuit Judge Vincent Chu said he would issue a permanent injunction that had been requested by Saget's widow, Kelly, and his 3 daughters. The family members had filed a lawsuit seeking to stop the release of any records from the local medical examiner's office and the Orange County Sheriff's Office involving an investigation into Bob's death. As you recall, Bob, who was 65, found dead January 9th, hotel room, Ritz-Carlton in Orlando. He'd performed in the area the previous night, part of his tour. Died from an accidental blow to the head, likely from a fall backward, according to the medical examiner. Autopsy report showed he had an abrasion on his scalp, a fracture at the base of his skull, fractures around his eye sockets, bruises to the brain, and bleeding between the brain and the tissue covering the brain.
That's a lot more than a slip.
Toxicology analysis did not show any illicit drugs or toxins in his body, although the prescriptions that he were on could lead to lightheadedness.
Okay.
I did read that. During the course of the autopsy and death investigation, the medical examiner's office and sheriff's office created graphic videos and photos of Bob Saget's body, as well as audio recordings. Those records are prohibited by state law from being released publicly, but some media outlets had already filed requests for them, according to the family's lawsuit.
Okay. Under FOIA?
Yeah, a Freedom of Information Act request, but that doesn't work on something that is illegal to release.
Okay.
Freedom of Information Act doesn't apply to
this
to legalities like that one. So state law bars it from being released publicly. There is a criminal penalty for doing it. Making this a permanent seal seems to be a redundancy.
I think so.
And what is it we're trying to hide here?
I don't.
I understand you don't want photos of your dead husband, dead father, and all that circulated all over the net in an autopsy photo, and I'm totally with them, and that shouldn't happen. But anything regarding this is sealed up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gotten so weird. I don't even want to know anything about it, honest with you. I mean, like, I never saw the Chris Farley picture, and I don't really.
I've seen that. That's horrific. No one should see that. That shouldn't have been circulated.
And I've never really looked into what was going on in that room when it happened, and I kind of feel the same way about Saget. I don't need to see anything. I don't
want to see him dead.
Honestly,
I don't want to see autopsy photo. I don't want to see them of anyone.
I don't want to know any story that sheds bad light on Bob at the end of his life there. And I don't know that
this would.
I don't know if it is.
But it sure seems more than just I had an accidental blow to the head. I think I'm going to go to bed now.
He had broken eye sockets.
Yes. He had fractured eye sockets, fractured at the base of his skull, bruises on the brain, bleeding between the brain and the tissue covering the brain. I mean, this was a devastating injury.
There's a whole other part of the story that we don't know.
And there are people who really don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Which apparently they haven't paid attention to the way this works.
Yeah, I don't know.
The more that you make it weird and questionable, the more people are going to dig.
Exactly, which leads me to believe that there's a really gross ending to this that I don't want to know about.
And they would like it if you didn't, and I'm all right with that.
The family doesn't want me to know about it. It's fine.
When I say they, the family, for some
for some reason the media wants me to know about it.
Well, yeah, because the media is the friend of everyone. All good things in this world stem from the media and the way they look at things. Sure.
You guys are the best.
646 News Talk 1440 WROK.
Menards is your electrical headquarters. We carry all the tools and testers you need for any electrical job. Stock up your toolbox with Southwire electrical products today. Right now, save big money on Southwire electrical tools, testers, cable ties, wire, and cable. Shop our huge selection in store at Menards. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among home improvement retailers according to J.D. Power. For more information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save